It's time for our first interview for the day. I'll be speaking to Wendy Abrams, the director of an organization called Edukos Foundation. Is a non-profit organization creating a purposeful pathways for the youth through quality and well-structured after-school programs, which their target market are a grade 4 to grade 12 learners from Strandfontein and Mitchell's Plain and also surrounding areas. Wendy, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Kusi. Thank you for this opportunity and good morning to your listeners.
Nice. Thank you very much for give up your sleep and be like, you know what, I'm going to come to Bush Radio 89.5 FM and tell you all the story of what we've been up to, what we need, if somebody can help us, who's listening now. So coming back, to Edukos Foundation, how did it all started?
Yes, so we started in the heart of lockdown during June 2020. And I'm a teacher by profession, and so I was helping a few young people with academic support. And it is really through that experience that I've learned that the young people need a safe space that provides academic support as well as psychosocial support. The hard lockdown brought some trauma to our young people, not knowing what's happening, and families was not doing too well. There was a loss of family members, decrease in finances in the home. And so it was really just a trying time for our young people. And it was a way for us to reach out to the youth in a purposeful way, answering to that specific need.
And then are you a team or how many? Because I know that with organizations, you can't necessarily do it alone.
Yes.
You'll have that strong team that is dedicated to give back, especially to the community.
Yes, definitely. I have an amazing group of people. I've got 6 people supporting me. Together, we are steering the boat of Advanced Edukos Foundation. We have 2 after-school programs, and so we have our after-school facilitators. We have 2 project managers, and then we also have myself in the office as well as in the field.
There's something about the name, though. Advanced Edukos Foundation.
Yes.
How did this? Who came up with the name?
I did. I must admit, it was a long process of trying to find a name that just fits right. And the word advance means moving forward in a purposeful way. So that automatically matched creating purposeful pathways. And then the name Edukos is actually a Greek word for education, which means learning from the inside out. And I often tell people that we don't claim to teach these young people. Many of the skills is inside of them. And so they just need a platform to bring it all out, to express themselves. And so the name Advanced Edukos is purposeful like that. So we creating purposeful pathways, and we're doing it in a meaningful way and reaching the inside of the child, whatever gifts and talents they have inside, giving them an opportunity to explore those gifts and talents.
Nice. And why only focus on grade 4 to 12? What about the other 3 grades or 4 grades before that?
Yes, so we started at that grade because that is really the grade where I picked up the young people are struggling, and that we decided to make that our focus point, because many a times they finish primary school, and when they access high school, they still have so much to learn. And if you do a baseline in high school, you often find that they have the qualifications or the learnings of a grade 3 or 4 learner. And we felt that is really the area where development is required.
If you have just tuned in now, speaking to Wendy Abrams, the director of the organization called Advanced Edukos Foundation, which deals on helping actually grade 4 to 12 learners from Strandfontein and Mitchell's Plain, and of course surrounding areas. So what are some of the programs that you have on the organization?
Yeah, let me just say that we also have a NEET program for young people not in education and training. So these are young people between the ages of 15 and 24. And we teach them job readiness skills and then other skills as well, soap making skills, woodwork, and those type of things where they can also sustain themselves. So our after school program offerings are, we have academic support, we have project support. We do coding, which is preparation for the 4th Industrial Revolution or the 5th Industrial Revolution. And this we do in partnership with an organization called Code Lady. And then we have art hubs. And the art hubs is really an opportunity for the young people to create, to heal, and to also learn a new skill.
I'm loving the fact that you're saying to heal also, because you'll find that in a lot of our communities, we deal with so much social issues to a point it affects especially the child.
It does, yeah.
And then obviously focusing on those things only. Have you ever come across to things like, the organization now can't really deal with this one. Let's advance it to another organization or maybe social worker. Because, when you're dealing with kids, you end up seeing a lot of things like, hey, this child, there's something not right here, Have you ever dealt with those kind of things?
Yes, so we do have 3 counselors within our space, and then we do referrals to the Department of Social Development and to partner organizations. We partner with quite a few organizations in various ways. We partner with YMCA, Hands and Feet, they're both in Strandfontein. We partner with a local community church. That's where we have our one after-school program, Refuge Fellowship. We partner with a local library in Rocklands. That's where we have another after-school program. So I think that we would not have been where we are today without our partners. We are very strategic in our partnership as well, so that they are in line with our values and our vision, and they support that, and they together with us, we want to make a difference. I like the word I heard earlier on, doughty. That is really the result that we want to see, strong young people, brave young people, determined young people, and just wanting to be the best version of themselves.
Probably they're all doubty there.
Yes.
So, and another thing is that you'll notice, especially in the K-flats, is there's lots of young parents and single parents.
Yes.
And now the family structure, or the way the system is saying that you must have a dad, you must have a mom, you must do it this way, you must balance, and all that. So now with after school care program, you start to see kids' attitudes are different, and all that.
Yes.
How do you think that the future of family will change as you starting to notice like how kids are behaving and all that? Because those are some of the data that is important, especially to government, because they also want to learn on how to improve ways, especially when it comes to social living.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things though?
Yeah, we definitely work closely with local government. We do share our statistics with them, and we have seen the impact. So the impact is first on the child, and then the impact is on the child at school, and the impact is then on the child in the family. We have 50% of the children in our program come from very poor backgrounds. So there is either only a mom, or there's no mom and dad, and they're living with grandmother. And in some cases, they don't even have a biological family member with them. And but we've seen, and that is the reward at the end of the day, we've seen how these young people evolve. We would see them coming in, they have a bad attitude, they are disrespectful, you even see that they are inconsistent with attendance, but we don't respond the same way we would in the schools. In the schools, the system is a little bit more strict in comparison to our space. So we respond in love. We want to create a space where that learner is free to share what their challenge is. And we then try to meet them at that point and work from that point to create a new being almost. We have young people that come into our program where the moms say, I don't really want to enroll him because he's not really a people's person, he's an introvert and so forth. And then within a couple of weeks, I'm sending mom a video of a child doing a presentation. We have young people who in school has been suspended more than once And in our space, if I should write a report, we haven't had any challenges with these young people. And now they're starting to see the change in the schools as well. So yes, after school programs are definitely making a difference. I really vouch for after school programs if it's quality after school programs, and staff need to be trained well so that they can deliver a quality program. And then families, we see how families are now coming back and saying, wow, my child is doing so well in the schoolwork. I have a mother that said, I sent it to this tutor, but I didn't see a difference. I want to send her back here because I've seen a difference here. So we definitely have made an impact over these last couple of years, yes.
If you have joined now, Wendy Abrams, the director of Advanced Edukos Foundation, where they have a well-structured after-school programs where they are focused on grade 4 to grade 12 learners from Strandfontein and Mitchells Plain and obviously surrounding areas. So now coming back again, Wendy, as you were mentioning that you start to see kids are changing, they start to understand because they're being listened to. What causes that, to a point where some kids, they are misunderstood? You don't listen, and with parents get frustrated, you end up beating a child, not knowing that you're instilling either violence or you instilling something else that's gonna bite back maybe in 30 years to come. What causes that though? That
the shift.
Yeah, that shift.
Conversation. Meaningful conversations are so important to our young people. When we start speaking to these young people, especially when it's one-on-one, and we start showing interest in their lives, they are wowed. And they would ask me something like, "Me, miss, you're asking me? Like, why do you want to know about my life?" And then they see, wow, these people are really interested. We just did our term 3 evaluations, and it was so heartwarming to read what they have written. And 90% of them wrote about love. They are loved, they are respected, and they feel safe. So that tells me that 90% of that young people outside of the after school program don't necessarily feel loved, respected, and safe. We also give them a voice, because sometimes we can learn so much from the young people. So we give them a voice, we hear them, what they have to say. How can we do things differently to better offer services to them? And we see how they then change their response. We had a young child, I called up a mom 2 weeks ago because the boy hasn't been in this space for 2 sessions. I called his mom and I said, "Where is he? I haven't seen him. Is everything okay?" She said he hasn't been there because he hasn't got shoes. He doesn't have shoes to wear to school or to the after school. I put a post on our church group and someone responded, an angel responded, and we could hand over 3 pairs of shoes to this young boy last week. I mean, that boy was blown away. Someone has never ever done something like that for him. And it's not even us. We didn't even do it. We just found someone that could bless this young boy. So I think our young people needs an array of mentors that can impact their lives. People, role models that can make a difference. And I think that is what's short in the community. That's why we don't want to work, stretch ourselves out across a whole lot of communities, and we don't have the capacity. One day when we do, we would love to. But for now, we're focusing on an area called Bayview. We're focusing on an area called Rocklands. I mean, Mitchells Plain is big, but we're focusing on Rocklands, and we're making a change in Rocklands, and one day when we sit back and we see this young people successful and happy, most of all happy, because if we look back on the stats, then we see a lot of our young people that are committing suicide, they're not happy, they were not happy. Something made them unhappy. And so it's important that we hear the heart of our young people.
That is Wendy Abrams from Advanced Edukos Foundation. Let's say now a parent is listening now, maybe the parent or the adult who lives with children, struggling to have those meaningful conversation. These kids don't listen. These kids don't clean. I hate these kids. When you grow up, you didn't used to be like this. Those are some of the things that you hear in our communities. Similar, it doesn't matter you're in a colored community or black community, whatever area you want to call it. It's still the same struggles, Now, for somebody who's working with kids, you see the impact in small space of time, how would you advise that adult who's listening now? Sometimes it doesn't necessarily have to be a parent, even an adult, even if you don't have kids, you can still be a positive impact to the future leader.
Yes. So what is important for me to develop in the young people and in adults is intrinsic motivation. I think it's important that we are not just motivated by the outside. We need to have motivation coming from within. Because I often tell the young people, when you look in front of the mirror in the morning, I asked that question once. When you look in the mirror, do you speak to yourself? Do you compliment yourself? Do you love what you see? And often they would tell me, no, they don't, so there's something they're not satisfied with. And then I say, then that is your point to start working on whatever it is you're not satisfied. But you get up in the morning and you say, hi, gorgeous, today's going to be the best day of your life. Just love yourself. You're looking good and nobody's going to change that, And then in our adults, I think conversations are important, and how to start a conversation is to start at a point where both parties can speak about. So, for example, if your son is playing soccer and your son comes home from school, when last did you ask him, how was the match? Tell me about the match, allow them to speak a bit, and he will say, no, we had an awesome match, or no, we lost today. And then it's an opportunity for you to motivate. In life, you don't always win. Sometimes you lose, but losing is an experience that you learn from to do better next time and to always give the best version of yourself.
I feel like you're motivating me now. That is crazy.
Yes.
Words can do a lot of
yes.
Imagine, if it does something to me, what would it do to the future leader?
Yeah.
And also, Wendy, do you guys also acknowledge that parents or adults in our communities also have their own stresses? Stress of unemployment,
yes.
Stress of crime, gangsterism, all these social ills that are within our communities. Is there a way to go around it?
Yes, so the parents, there's no way. We need to just build resilience, We necessarily, we can't change everything, but we can build resilience as adults. And I think what's important for adults is to know that your child is safe, to keep your child safe. And at Advanced Edukos, we're not taking the role on as a parent. We're not taking your role from you. We honor you as parents because together we can bring out the best version of your children. So it's your child that we would like to impact. We ask you permission to impact your child alongside you. Lately, we've started having conversations with parents, and the parents are also opening up now. So we're getting to know the family. And once we have the capacity, we will be working with parents. We're hoping as of 2023. We have started working in schools. We started working with Cedar High. Yes, it was a long journey of trying to get in due to COVID regulations and so forth. But we're finally working with the grade 8 to 10 learners at Cedar High, and it's there where we do the life skills around HIV, AIDS, TB, substance abuse, teenage pregnancy, having conversations around that and hearing where the kids are at, because not everybody's at the same point. You can get a 16-year-old who has not been sexually active, but then you get a 16-year-old who has 2 kids at home and she's still sitting at school, So what type of intervention is required there that the second time, the girl fell pregnant again? Obviously, there's an intervention needed. So I just think it's important that we know as adults and as parents that we can make a difference amidst our circumstances. Our circumstances don't determine where we're going to end up. I know what it is to have and what it not to have. I've been in positions, strategic thinking positions and so forth, but that's not me. I want to be on the ground, because my reward is to see a young person succeed, a young person reach for their dreams. And I'm sure that is every parent's dream out there, but it's not always easy. So we just want to come alongside those parents and offer the services to their children at no cost. The children don't pay for the service at no cost, and make a difference in their lives and impacting the families.
So Wendy, what are some of the values, the organization has, and also what are the plans to move the organization forward?
Yes, so going forward, we want to, our NEET program, we want to develop our NEET program because that is a need in the community for young people loitering on the streets and the shop stoops and so forth. And we really want to impact their lives. So the pilot program has really just meant to be met with the young people on a quarterly basis. And we partnered with organizations in the youth sector to offer different skills and activities to them. But we really want to produce something from that. For example, one thing we're thinking of is to get sewing machines and having them make clothing and bags and those type of things. So that's a plan for the next 5 years, over the next 5 years that we would like to see. In terms of our values, I think compassion is one of our biggest values. Just to have compassion for what we do and in compassion for our communities. Because I think if we don't have compassion, then we don't have the heart for community work. So I think that's probably our number one value.
In studio, I have Wendy Abrams, the director of the organization called Advance Edukos Foundation. It's a non-profit organization creating a purposeful pathways for the youth through quality and well-structured after-school programs, where they focus on grade 4 to grade 12 learners in Strandfontein and Mitchells Plain and surrounding areas of Mitchells Plain. So, Wendy, again, coming back into this year, 2022 was one of the year where people were like, this is the year I have to do everything that I wanted to do. How has been, or what are some of the highlights for the organization this year?
Yes, yeah, we had amazing highlights over the last financial year. So about just over 10 of our young people have exhibited artworks at Sites Marker alongside a theme manifesting the new with Butterfly Arts Project. We have about 47 of our young people that was part of a art initiative at the Norval Foundation, the opening of the Children's Center at Norval Foundation Museum. And of them, 10 of the young people were part of a exhibition by Irma Stern at the Norval Foundation. And they have painted self-portraits. And those portraits are still being exhibited at Norval as we speak. And then just recently, one of our young people entered a essay writing competition about bullying, a story of how she was bullied, and she won the competition. She didn't only win the competition for herself, but she also managed to win over 200 books for the organization. And then we have young people that have entered the City of Cape Town art competition. It was the Global Change competition, 14 of them, and the one of the 14 also won the City of Cape Town's competition. So we expose them to various opportunities where they can just be so super proud about themselves. But you see, sometimes we have organizations where we give them opportunities, but they don't have the capacity to go to that opportunities if you're not going to take them. So we provide transport, even if it's our own personal cars, to get them to these spaces where they can explore further opportunities.
Still tuning in on the 89.5 FM, the mother of community radio station in Africa. My name is Mkuseri Kusiveto. I'm going to be with you until 12. Lastly, when it comes to organization, the problem is funding. Funding, sometimes it's always an issue, man, to a point where you don't know what to do anymore. So what are some of the things that you need?
Yes.
Obviously, you will never run out of things needing them. Yes. You need more
yes.
money, the better it is
yes,
for any
please,
organization. So what are some of the struggles or things that the organization need?
Yes, so one of the things we do is we feed the young people. We call it nutrition in our budget line item. And right now, we really need help in that area. So we do sandwiches. It's summer now, so we can't do soup in winter. We did soup as well. So sandwiches, peanut butter, jam, butter, margarine. So if people out there can help us in that regard. We also, it's close to our grade graduation, which is taking place on the 15th of December at Rockland Civic. And so we're collecting donations to fill up the gifts pack. So anything, stationery, toiletries, clothing items, shoes. So anything people can contribute towards the gift packs, our love packs, we will appreciate.
Okay, time is jealous. Before I let you go, if people want to get a hold of you and also want to be in touch and find out more what is the organization are doing, how can they get a hold of you?
Sure. So our Facebook page, Advance Edukos Foundation. My cell phone number is 078 141 3183, or they can email us admin@advanceedukos.org.za, and then we also have a website, www.advanceedukos.org.za.
Ma'am, thank you very much. Wendy Abrams from Advance Edukos Foundation. What do we do on the show when we invite a guest? We always ask them, please, can you give us a few lines or words of motivation, especially for the listeners listening now who might be going through a lot as we speak, as you know, unemployment. Hey, man, there's a whole lot of things. Don't even want to mention them. What would you like to say, Wendy?
Yes, I'd like to say that you are a designer's original. You are a masterpiece, and all you need to do is get up and shine.
I'm not going to add any further. Wendy, thank you very much for coming through to Bush Radio 89.5 FM, the mother of community radio.